You're watching Soulful Discussions. Ciao.
All right, so hi, how are you doing today?
Good at yourself?
Doing great, doing great. How do we meet today?
At the beach.
At the beach, yeah. We're here at the water. Absolutely. She missed the dolphins though.
Yes, I did.
Absolutely, absolutely. What did I approach you about? What did I come up to you about?
To talk about... Damn, man.
Yeah, three topics. She forgot.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the subject of feet,
Yes.
mental health, reflexology.
Yes.
Cool. In terms of when you hear the word feet, what do you think about? First thing goes to your mind. Shoe? You say shoes or shoe? Okay.
Shoes.
All right. Are you a shoe fanatic?
Yes.
Oh, okay. There it is. That's why you thought about shoes.
Yeah.
Cool. Today we're gonna ask some questions. It'll be your thoughts about the subject of feet. Feel free to answer however you like in those moments. Okay. In terms of mental health, is there any like topics that come to mind? Anything you think about?
Sometimes about life.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna ask you questions today about your thoughts about like social media, the impact it can have on like depression and anxiety. So just feel free to answer however you like, okay? And then reflexology, does that sound familiar?
Not really.
Okay. Don't worry. We're gonna give you information today, and you can just tell me what your thoughts are about the information kind of once I give it to you, okay? That sound good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's start with the first question. In terms of what is my first question? Hold on. In terms of the way that the world is like starting to become more aware of mental health and like what we're doing about it, how do you feel about that?
Oh, it's crazy. Everything's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's getting sick. And they're here, and then they leave, you know.
Man.
They're die. People are dying
Uh-huh.
over all this going on.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because like years ago, like, you know, these weren't things that we would talk about or anything like that. Now we're starting to become more aware of like these different things, and it's like it's very interesting. In terms of social media, right? First of all, what are your thoughts about social media, and then how do you use social media yourself?
I use social media
Uh-huh.
for the reason that I have like my personal boutique thing going on.
Oh, okay.
It works. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
But at the end, social media will let you know everything that's going on in the world.
Absolutely, keeping you
Oh yeah. Like,
informed,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. You know everything that's going on. Or sometimes it could be really
Okay. In terms of social media, like a follow-up question to kind of what I just asked you. Let's say somebody came to you and they were like, I'm gonna give you the power to change something about it, right? Is there anything you feel like you would change? Do you feel like it's already okay the way it is? What do you think about that?
I would tell you that all this COVID and all everything going on will be off.
Yeah.
Because it's going crazy. Going crazy.
You get posts about that all the time.
Yeah, so you can be. It's not like you could be walking around without no mask. Now.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you have to be with masks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 5 feet away from each other.
Yeah.
Or you know, it's crazy.
Absolutely. In terms of this next question, like you don't have to go too in depth with this if you don't want to, but just more of a surface level answer if you want. In terms of anxiety, is there anything that brings you anxiety? And if so, when you feel anxiety happening, what do you do to like counteract what you're feeling in the moment, like to cope with it?
Come to the beach.
There it is.
Chill.
And this is why I came today, right? I've been having a very like tough time at work lately, like where it's been like a lot of like pressure situations kind of coming my way, and it's a lot of stuff where I'm like, do I really need to worry about that? So I wanted to like come reset. I was like, let me come to the beach today. Let me reset. But while I'm at, I also enjoy doing these interviews because I get different perspectives from people. So it allows me to be able to kind of like calm
Think
down,
about it.
focus on something else, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm the same way right now. That's the reason why I'm
That's dope. Okay, let's get into these questions now. I'll be intrigued to see what your thoughts are about these. What are your thoughts about your feet? How do you feel about them?
About what, I'm sorry?
About your feet. How do you feel about your feet? Took a deep breath.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say.
I mean, I'm saying, do you like your feet? You don't like your feet?
No, I do.
Okay.
I do.
So, I mean, let's start there. So you do like your feet. Have you ever received compliments before? Anybody ever told you had nice feet?
Yes.
So that's happened before.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. When you got a compliment about that from somebody, how did it make you feel in the moment? Really good. That's dope. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. In terms of compliments you get, right, from men and women, is there a group you prefer to get it from more?
No, not really.
So you kind of feel like they're both the same?
Yes.
Okay, that's dope. In terms of compliments you get in general, not just physical, but all compliments, right? Is there a certain compliment that when somebody gives that to you, you're like, that really makes my day and made me feel good? Anything like that?
You know what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was almost 330 pounds.
Okay. Okay.
And 4 years ago, I decided to change. You know, I'm a kid.
That's
I have
dope.
a kid. I have an 8-year-old.
Okay.
I was in a really, really long relationship for 14 years. And I wasn't thinking about myself anymore.
Wow.
I was just doing mommy duties and just taking care of home, not thinking about how I was feeling. Then I started seeing myself in the mirror and I was like, you know what? I need to change for myself.
That's dope.
So I started working out, eating a little bit more healthy. Right now I'm weighing 138 pounds.
That's dope, man. That's a heck of a journey,
I
man.
just got out of the gym. You can tell.
Yeah.
I just got out of the gym.
Okay.
And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go get my bicycle.
Yeah, you came here to bike and.
I need to go relax for a bit. You know, like right now it's not like I was in a relationship for almost 4 years right now.
Yeah.
5 after I left my
previous
marriage.
relationship.
Yes, and now it's like everything's so different. I decided to walk away
Okay.
and do me and think about more than for me.
Absolutely.
And it's so crazy because we go to the same gym.
Wow.
I see 'em.
So you still see him?
I see 'em. And I get a lot of compliments there. Like,
That's dope.
girl, every time that I see you, I see you're skinny. You're really good. You haven't got surgery. Everything's on you. I see you waking up early. Like I wake up at 4 a.m.
That's dope.
All the way until 7:10 because I have mommy duties to do.
Yeah, of course.
Do breakfast, drop my son off, and I say, you know what? I'm gonna go to the beach. That's where I need to go. And if I need to cry, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna chill and do something like that.
That is dope. That is dope, man. I'm glad for you. I'm very happy for you. Like you taking that up on yourself and you went on that journey and like you're seeing the fruits of your labor. That's always dope, man. That's really cool. In terms of like pedicures, how often do you get pedicures?
Every week.
Every week?
Every week.
That is interesting. Okay,
Every week.
I think you're maybe only like the third or fourth person that's told me that. Usually for most people it's like every 2 to 3 weeks or something like that. Every week.
Yes.
Is there a reason why you go every week?
Yes, because I use a lot of high heels.
Okay.
And I go out, I do girls night out, and I love using high heels. And I think it's really nice and really clean having your toes tweaked.
Absolutely. So like taking care of your feet, like self-care, things like that. Not only that, I'm pretty sure it probably feels good to be able to like you said, you're putting in all this work every day, going to the gym early, like taking care of your son, doing everything that you need to do, and then being able to have just a moment for yourself to like just relax and like let somebody take care of you. Probably really feels good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: in terms of pedicures, have you ever heard of medical pedicure before?
No.
Okay. So that's when you go see a podiatrist, a specialist of the foot, right? They'll take a look at your feet to make sure like your nails grow correctly. They check for like your toe alignment to make sure your toe alignment is straight. They can make special orthotics for your feet. Let's say your feet are uncomfortable in certain shoes. They'll make a specialized orthotic fit just for your foot. They can like take away any dead skin, fungus, do all the work there with like medical grade equipment. It's like the cleanest possible experience you can get. What would your thoughts be on seeing somebody like that who could give you like insight into like what's happening with your feet, what's going on, give you more like tips and tricks? What are your thoughts about that?
Cool.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Cool.
You will be more knowing about your feet.
Yeah.
You'll be knowing if you have fungus, even though let's say we walk here, and if you're walking over there, then you end up with fungus.
Absolutely.
You never know.
You never know. In terms of shoes, how often you wear open-toe shoes, sandals, flip-flops?
I want to say every week.
Absolutely, because you talk about the heels and everything. You like putting them on, like girls' night. Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely. Is there like a particular brand of shoe that you prefer, like over others, or like a style of shoe?
If it was for me, I see Steven.
Okay.
I think they're cute.
Okay.
They're like more open
Okay.
I like Christiana Louis Vuitton too,
Okay.
but sometimes it's getting annoying.
Yeah.
Walking because it's a really small high heel.
It is.
Really tight.
And it's interesting. I should have kind of knew this, like when I walked up and you said when you thought about feet, you thought about shoes. Like, and I said, "Are you a shoe for that?" You said, "Yes, I am."
Yeah.
At least you're honest about it.
I'm a sneaker fan.
Absolutely. In terms of like going barefoot, how often do you do that?
So
Never.
never.
So even you come
Only
to the
if
beach.
I go to the beach.
Oh, okay. That's what I was.
Only to the beach.
Okay. What about the park? You go to the park, you got a blanket out.
No.
Is there a reason why?
There's a lot of germs everywhere.
Oh, but yeah, I'm saying you got a blanket out. You got your favorite book. You're like,
maybe.
okay.
Maybe.
Because I mean, we can't always think about that, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like you kind of mentioned earlier, you could be over here and then take a step over there.
Yeah.
You got fun, so you
Yeah.
you never know. So
never know.
you might as well just be kind of like a little bit more, free will about it. Absolutely.
Yeah, you get some air on your toes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very important. All right, so now can we see what your feet look like?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And let me have you keep your socks on for right now. Just take your shoes off, and then what I'm gonna have you do is just kind of, if you could square up, kind of like with me right here. And what size shoe do you wear?
9.
Size 9? Okay. Does it vary depending on the type of shoe you're wearing?
Yes.
So if you're wearing like a heel or
9 or 10.
okay, 9 or 10, and then tennis shoes, maybe you go like a half size up or something like that.
Guys of a size 8.
Okay.
And girls of a size 9.
Oh, okay. So pretty standard.
Food.
Okay.
Food, I'll be a 10.
Oh, okay. So you go a size up just to make sure you got space. Okay, cool. Let me have you take that shoe off too, and then just put both feet up here.
Take the other one too?
Yeah. All right.
That's funny.
Cool. And then let me have you, if you can put them flat right here. All right, cool. And it looks like, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, from your toe alignment, is your second toe or a bigger toe bigger? Is the second toe a little bit longer?
I want to say yeah.
Yeah, okay. You know what that's called? So there's different toe alignments for different feet. Yeah, you have what's called the Grecian toe alignment. It's a Greek toe. So like if you go to Greece or you know people who are Greek, like a lot of times that second toe is like slightly above all the other toes. Yeah, so that's what you kind of have there. If your bigger toe is bigger, it's called the Egyptian toe alignment. So absolutely. Cool. All right, let me have you put your feet out straight, like your legs straight, and then toes up, like this. There we go. Okay. All right, so now you can take your socks off. All right, and then we got some nice socks here. You got the little no-shows, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, nice pedicure. You got the like little like French pedi with the like black on the top. Absolutely. And then let me take that one off. All right. Cool. And then flat down. All right, cool. You got some nice feet. I can tell right now. So the compliments that you've gotten have been well deserved. Okay. Absolutely. Let me have you kind of put it. If you put your feet up like a little bit, so we can kind of see what they look like. Okay. Cool. And then let me have you put your feet out. Toes up. All right. Cool. So let me ask you this. In the moment we've been talking, taking a look at your feet now. What are your thoughts? How you feeling about this?
Good.
Okay, cool. And help me out your feet, leave your feet out. We're gonna go through a couple more exercises, okay? So let me give you a little background in terms of why I started my channel, okay? So during quarantine, I was watching another guy's channel and he was talking about exposure therapy. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Okay, so.
I really don't do a lot of stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
Like important.
Yeah. So exposure therapy is for like, let's say for example, you're somebody who has a phobia or you like get uncomfortable in certain like situations or scenarios, right? What therapists will tell you to do is like go out and do that. Do it over and over again, right? The whole thought process is the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be with it, right? You won't ever fully like get to the point where you're like, I'm not nervous or anything like that, but you'll be like, I understand what's gonna happen. Like I'm gonna be nervous, but afterwards I'll feel good about it, right? So when I heard about that, I'm like, I'm a chronic overthinker. Like I overthink everything, right? And I wanted to get to a point in my life where not every situation requires me to overthink it. Like sometimes it's just like make a decision. Like you're in this moment, make that decision, right? And I'm like, I want to get to that point. So with that idea in mind, I was like, let me start a YouTube channel. I want to go out and interview women because with all the women who have become like, I don't know if you know, women have become foot models. There's been a big thing about feet, all this. I was like, how would it be? Yeah, I was like, how would it be for me if I just approached like women who I just met, you know, not a foot model or anything like that. You just like a natural woman. How would you react to like the questions I'm asking? Would you be willing to show your feet, practice some of that exposure therapy? Do you get uncomfortable or what happens in those moments, right?
No. If they're asking you nicely, why not?
Yeah.
And they're not being disrespectful.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's what my channel is all about. It's like trying to bring positivity to the subject of
And
feet.
we need to support people.
And I appreciate that. Like you were willing. You were like, yeah, sure. I didn't even tell you what it was about. You're just like, yeah, sure, no worries. Absolutely. So let's get into reflexology, okay? And then we'll wrap up the interview, okay? So reflexology is about the different pressure points you have in your hands and your feet, right? Those pressure points actually connect to different parts of your body. So let's say, for example, like through massage, through acupuncture, through acupressure, we can actually like alleviate like stress and tension to various parts of our body, right? Let's say, for example, you're somebody who deals with migraines, right? It's actually a portion of your hands and feet you can massage that alleviates that tension you feel in those moments. It's actually a piercing you can get in your ear does the exact same thing. What are your thoughts about that? Reflexology, what it can do for you? How do you feel about that?
I feel good.
Okay. Now, do you go get massages? Has that been something you've gone and done? Okay, how often do you do that? Is that every week too?
I wish it could be every week.
Okay.
I do that probably once a month.
Okay.
Or I tell my man.
There it is. Like, hook me up real quick.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let me ask you this. In terms of reflexology, when we get to this point, we like to talk about sensitivity, right? How ticklish do you tend to be?
How what? I'm sorry?
Ticklish do you tend to be?
Probably a 6, not a lot.
You get pedicures,
Yeah.
you're very ticklish?
No, not really.
Not really?
I don't really get tickled like when there's scrubbies and all that.
Yeah, when
No,
they do
it's-
like the plumbing
no,
stuff?
not
All
at
right, do you mind if we test this so that we can see
Yeah.
what the contrast is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me have you hold that for me for 1 second. And then let me just get my tool out. And then I just want you to tell me where you feel it at the most.
And I'm like-
there it is. Tell me where you feel it at the most, and then which.
Do I have to record you?
No, just stay on because I'm gonna take it back in a
Okay.
few seconds. Cool. Let's see here. All right. Cool. And then you mind? Let me. I have like a little towel. I'm gonna kind of wipe your feet off a little bit just so that we can. I want to be able to not have so much. Yeah, so much sand there. All right, cool. So just kind of get that off of there. That way we can kind of feel where it's at. And then lift your foot up just a little bit, and then so the bottom part. All right, cool. And then this one. All right, cool. All right. So now let's go ahead and test this out. I want you to tell me where you feel it at the most, like I said, and which foot it's on the most. Okay. And if you could hold your foot up. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. All right. Where are you feeling this at the most? Is it anywhere in particular, or do you not really feel it at all? Not really. Okay. If you were talking about a scale, what would you say the scale is?
0.
0. Okay, let's try this one now. All right, tell me where you're feeling it at the most. Now, usually 1 is supposed to be more sensitive, so I'm not. So you're good with this one, okay? So you don't feel anything on that one either? Okay, interesting. Let me try another tool, and we'll see if you feel it more with this one, okay? Tell me where it's at. Okay, ready? All right, lift your foot up a little bit, and then anywhere.
There.
So you feel it right in the middle. What's the scale here on this one?
Like a 5.
Like a 5? Okay, let's try here. And then you feel this one anywhere?
In the middle.
And the same size. It's the same? What's the scale? So it's a 5 on both.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what it is for you. So on the rougher side, you're not as sensitive. You're more sensitive if it's like something delicate, it's barely there and it's moving. That's where you're more sensitive at. So that's a really cool, interesting trick. All right, and now you put your feet close together. I'm gonna have you do some exercises with your feet. This is to test like dexterity and flexibility in your feet, okay? What I want you to do first, bend your toes, make a fist. You tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Okay, hold on. Hold them up. And then I want you to just bend just your toes. Okay. Does that feel comfortable? Are you uncomfortable? Do you feel any type of tension anywhere? So it's pretty comfortable. Okay, relax. Next, let me have you spread your toes. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort. Pretty easy to do. Okay, relax. And then lastly, wiggle your toes for about 10 seconds. You tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, cramping. Yeah. Do you feel any type of discomfort, any cramping, anything like that happening? All right, cool. There it is. All right, so let's wrap up the interview. In terms of my approach, I came up to you, right? You were kind of sitting looking at the water. I asked you to do this interview. What were your thoughts? And then how was my approach? Was it good? Was it bad? What did you think about it?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. In terms of the interview as a whole, right? Did you see where everything was going? Could you kind of see how it was going in line? Did it make sense? Did you learn anything new? Okay. So everything was pretty cool. All right, good. The last thing I always ask from a mental health standpoint, maybe it's a life lesson you learned. Maybe it's some wise words that somebody said to you that you could share on my channel. You have anything like that for us?
It's cool. I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. So yeah, no, but I'm saying, do you have any words for my channel that could be helpful to them? Like maybe something you've learned.
Maybe to follow me because it's really cool.
Okay.
It's so knowing about different things.
Absolutely.
And learning about something else. So you
Absolutely.
haven't learned.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate you stopping to do this interview with us. All right. We hope that you have a great one here at the beach for the rest of the day. All right.
Bye.
All right.